Good morning to all of you. So now we are going to continue the topic where we left yesterday. That we have started the topic of packet switching technique, right? So we have started from the topic of packet switching technique, and we have seen the part the datagram network and how the technique is followed. What is the basic diagram on that? We have seen. We have discussion on that particular topic, right? Now the continuation with that particular part of packet switching networking technique. In the packet switching network, the thing or a term that is associated here, that is known as routing table. So the rule, what is the purpose of this routing table? So routing table has two options, actually have two parameters we can say. One is called a destination address, and second one we can say that output. So these are the two corresponding parameters that is present in our routing table. One is called destination address and second one is an output. So the table, this routing table is actually having the value of these two things, right? One for destination address, second one for output. So what is happening here, that each switch, the the switch devices that involved or that are involved in the process of this packet switching technique, the each switch have a routing table, and this routing table will have these two parameters, destination address and output port. So this table, the routing tables of the switch devices, it is actually a dynamic type and it gets updated continuously. It is something dynamic and it gets updated continuously. Right. So the destination address, what is the two parameters? That one is destination address and second one is the address port by corresponding output port. So the destination address, first it will be entered, and that destination address, the data of that particular destination address will be getting out from which particular port. From suppose from a switch device, there are four ports are connected. So from which port the switch device, the corresponding data regarding of that destination address will be go out, that output port needs to be mentioned. So two things is present in our routing table. One is a destination address and second one is the output port. So this output port is actually for that this from which port it is connected to that particular destination address path. So that is helping out the output port for the corresponding data of these destination addresses. So two things, destination address and second one is the output port. These are the two parameters that is present in our routing table, right? So this destination address and the output port we have talked. The destination address, that every packet, the first what is happening in packet switching technique, if I have a brief description on the previous class of this packet switch, that the packet, the whole data or the message is getting into fixed size or variable size, or getting into division of fixed or variable size packets, right? And then the packet will be transferring or transmitting through the network with the help of this switch devices and circuit packet switching technique, right? So this destination address, so the packets, each and every packet have a header, and this header is actually containing what? The address of the package, the source and the destination address, from where it is coming and from where it is going. So the package, every package carries this particular header, and this header file containing the address of the packet, the destination address more specifically. So what happens when a switch receives the packet? So first, the condition is when a switch is receiving the packet, so what will do? It will examine the packet. It will examine the packet and find out what? It will examine the packet and find out the destination address. It will examine the packet and finds out the destination address. So what is the destination address containing in the header file? That will be getting out after examining that. So when this switch receives the packet, the destination address is examined. Then the part of this routing table, the routing table is finding the corresponding port through which the packet should be forwarded. So suppose the thing is that a particular destination address is coming, or suppose from a packet, consider this is a packet, this is a message packet, and there is a header file associated. Suppose these are the part of the header file. Okay, so consider this is the message part, this is the header part. So this header have the information of the destination address, and this is the message. So according to this destination address, considering this header have the destination address of 1234. So this is the address where the message needs to be delivered. Now from the routing table, through this particular routing table, actually what we are trying to find out, what is the corresponding output to this or corresponding path to this particular destination. Suppose the path 1234, suppose I'm writing 1234, this is a particular destination address we are getting, and the output path is finding out the port will be 2. So the message, this destination address is connected from my switching technique to the port number 2. So that port number 2 will be responsible for this particular message to be delivered at the particular destination address of 1234. So this 1234, whenever a destination address is coming, whenever after examining the packet, after examining the header file from the packet, whatever the destination address we are getting or we are receiving, that destination address must have been associated with a particular port, must have been associated with a particular port, and that destination address we need to find out the corresponding port from the routing table, and then the message will be transmitted through that particular port. The message will be forwarded through that particular port. So this destination address is the header that is placed in the packet, and it is actually same during the whole transmitting process. Means when it starts from the source side, the destination address will not change, because the address was fixed from the sender side, from where the data needs to be, from where the data is coming, and to the particular address where the data needs to be transferred, right? So it was fixed, and it will be fixed in all over the journey, through over all the journey, that destination address will be fixed, right? It is a very common concept. So now the next term that we have already always seen in the previous classes also, by talking about the previous switching technique process, that is think our circuit switch technique, right? So in the part of there, we have discussion on a topic of this efficiency, right? So here also the term, again, it is involved in the case of packet switching technique, that is the term efficiency. So what is this efficiency, or what are the efficiencies we can found in this particular process in the packet switching technique? So this datagram, actually what happening is packet switching technique, the whole message is getting into the block of data, and this data is known as packet. So the message is actually divided into the fixed or variable size packet. So this packet switching, the packet or this datagram networks we can talk about, it is very helpful with respect to circuit switch network. in some scenarios. What are the scenarios? Circuit switch also is better than others. In some scenarios, the scenario is that it have a dedicated path from where the data can be transmitted without any type of delay, right? But what is the efficiency then in packet switch network? The efficiencies of these packet switch networks are, one, we can say that the resources are allocated when only the packets are there to be transferred. So when message are there, when some message is there, the resources are getting allocated to transfer that particular packet. And if a source sends a packet, and if that packet reaches to that particular device with some delay, so that time, by that particular time, it will not wait to receive that particular packet. It will transmit any other data, any other packet that have the same corresponding destination address. So multiple sharing of data or multiple sharing of packets, the better term will be, can share through the path without wasting any much time. So one, if one packet is coming late or arriving late to the devices, another one that have already in scenario in present, that can be transmitted or it can be sent. The resources can be reallocated during after some minutes for the packets that have sent the for the resources. So that passes when the packet will be received, then that time then the transmission of that particular packet happen. And if it is having delay, then some other packets will be transferred to that particular channel. So this particular scenario, this is the particular reason where this packet switching technique efficiency is better than circuit switch technique, where the packets have the particular destination addresses and resources are allocated only when it is needs to be transferred. And if there is any type of delay, some other type of packets can be sent through the transmission process. This is the part of the efficiency in the packet switch network. So we have already mentioned a term that if the packet arrives late, means we can assume that there is a concept of delay. There is a concept of delay that is present. So the concept of delay that is present here. So how this delay can be achieved, or what is the process of finding out this delay? What is the process for finding out this particular delay? So the scenario is that the packet, these datagram networks actually have a delay more than circuit switch network. In circuit switch network, the delay is only present at the time of the growing phase, right? We have seen the phases of circuit switch network. So when the time of growing phase till the request and acknowledgement part, at that time there will be some delay. Otherwise, there will be near delay in the transmitting of the data. So in the part of this datagram network or the packet switch network, there is a delay, much delay we can say, with respect to this circuit switch network. And why that delay is happening? Because that the package, every package that is arriving must have to face a wait situation before it is forwarded, because the packet is going to be reached to the device and then it will be wait there for some time to transmit, to examine the package, to examine the destination of this address of the packet from the header file and what is the corresponding output. All the data needs to be find out or calculate through the routing table. So that's where the things will be become a little bit late, becomes a little bit late. And since every packet in a message traveling through the particular switches, means traveling through the same switches means same port of the switches, because considering a same destination address, only one port will be transmitting the data. So the delay will be not same for all the packets of the message. So all the packets is a message in the message is not traveling through the same switches. The delay is not uniform for all the particular packets, right? So the concept is something like this. Suppose this is my source side, this is my destination side, source and destination, and concept in between there are two switched devices. Fine, there are two switched devices. Now consider the message of starting from here. This is my destination part. Okay. Suppose a message from the source to destination is started. So a packet is going to start from the source, considering this is our S, this is our S, this is our destination D, this is an intermediate, suppose S1, switch 1, and this is our switch 2. So the message, or from the starting, from the source, from the S, the message was started, right? So consider this is my transmission time. So the message is getting transferred, considering this is my transmission time. Fine. Now, when it received, or it was reached to the S1, the switched one, we are getting that the message is getting transferred after some time. But actually, in general, if the user data, if this packet switching network, then the whole scenario will be straightforward like this. But no, in this case, we are getting a drop. We are finding out this particular position where the data is in some waiting state. Again, from the switch 2, we are getting particularly something like this, that a waiting state was there and the message is transferred from this, and then again we are finding out a scenario, this particular gap. This gap is known as the waiting time. Waiting time for what? Waiting time for the packet to be examined, put the value into the routing table, finding out the corresponding output port for that particular destination addresses. So that will take a time, and there the delay is occurring. In each devices, when the packet is going to receive, that packet will be going to examine, and the data corresponding the addresses, address destination, and the destination port will be look out with the help of the routing table. And this waiting time in each cases is known as the delay. In each cases is known as the delay. So if there is no delay, in general, if we consider that there is no delay, then the message, it should be reached by that particular scenario, right? Here the message should be reached in that particular time. The message can be reached in that particular time, but the message have reached after this particular period, right? So this is called a delay. This is called a total delay. The total delay is starting from the time from there. So this is known as my total delay, as the message have wait in each switch technique, and then it have received to that particular final destination site. So that is known as the total delay. That is known as the total delay. So this delay is happening. The reason we have already talked or discussed, because of examining the package, finding out the destination addresses, and finding out the corresponding output to forward the data. So this packet is traveling through the switches, and every time there is a transmission time, two waiting times are there, right? So the waiting times we can write for the S1, it is something like W1. We can say, suppose consider this is our W1, we can consider this is our W2. So there are two waiting times, that is W1 and W2. So total waiting time, it can be W1 plus W2. Total waiting time, it can be W1 and W2. And the total delay, what can be the total delay? That is from the starting from the transmission time. So it have started at this particular scenario. This is my transmission time, started time. Here it have started and it have reached lately here. So considering this is my transmission time as T. Consider this is my transmission time as T. So the total delay will be T plus W1 plus W2. So the total delay, we can say T plus W1 plus W2. It can be considered as total delay. T plus W1 plus W2. So this is my total delay of this particular packet switch network, right? So this packet switch and the processes of this scenario, we have seen that the particular process will be going or sending to this particular with the help of some packet, right? Now there is the next part there that we call a VCN, that is known as the the part virtual switch network, virtual circuit network, actually the VCN, virtual circuit network, under the part of this packet switch network, we can consider under the part of this packet switch network, right? So what is the particular part of this VCN? We have seen the datagram part. Till now we are talking the part of this datagram approach, right? Whatever the things we have talked in the mode of this datagram. Now there is another part, another approach we can say, that is the VCN, virtual circuit network. It is the concept, or it is the part or sub part of this packet switching technique. So what is happening in the VCN, virtual circuit network? What is happening in the part of this VCN? That this VCN is actually a combination of circuit switch and the datagram network. The concept of circuit switch and datagram network are both induced here. So when the two scenarios or two of the concepts have been introduced, so some of the characteristics from two of the system will be there. So what are the characteristics present in this particular VCN? Right? As what happened in circuit switch network, there are some setup and tear down phases, and also there is some data transfer phase. So there are three phases in circuit switch network: growing phase, data transfer, and tear down. And also, so in circuit switch network, the net resources we are using, that can be allocated or that can be introduced at the time of this setup phase, right? When the setup phase is happening, the resource was allocated. And in a datagram network, the resource is allocated on demand, and the data are divided into the packets, right? And this each packets have a header as the corresponding addresses. So what happens is VCN, in the virtual switch network, the virtual circuit network, the two concepts of this, the circuit switch and the datagram, are both was merged, and both the things, the total VCN was actually combination of the circuit switch network and the datagram network. So the concept of the circuit switch network was present in our physical layer, and concept of this datagram technique was present in our network layer. So two different techniques present in two layers. The devices are taking switching techniques, but when we subcategorize the switching techniques, the first one, that is our packet switch technique, and second one is our datagram switching techniques. Both the combination of this is known as the VCN. So this combination, the parts of this combination, that is the packet switching technique, it is present in our physical layer, and the circuit switching technique is present in our physical layer, and datagram switching technique is present in our network layer. It is present in our network layer, and this network has two different switches that can be allowed from different sources to destination. So if we remember the diagram of the circuit switch network, that there is a system connected to the particular, all the devices switching are there, and we can find out a particular path. So that concept will be implemented in our physical layer, where there will be a direct connection, there will be a proper setup connection between the source and the destination, because the data from the source side will be received last in the physical layer, and it will be received first in the physical layer in the destination side. So there will be a direct communication setup will be there, and that is the concept of the circuit switch network. While the network layer will be dealing with the datagram techniques, the datagram switch networks, that is transferring the data with the help of the datagram process. So here two type of addressing is implemented, right? One for the physical and one for the network layer. Two type of addressing is needed. What are the two type of addressing? First one, it will be a global, and second one will be a local. First one will be a global, and second one it will be a local. These two type of addressing was present, global and local. So what is the part of this global addressing and local addressing? The part of the global addressing, the source or these destinations, what the IP address is, what is the address by which we are actually transferring the data, that is a particular type of global address, where this by this address, with the help of this global address, we can have the scope to identify the network from one part to another part, from one network to another network. We have to identify that yes, this is the proper network, and the network is going to be changed from the source side to the destination side. The network may be changed or may not be changed, but it is the responsibility. We need to identify the network by which it has some global variable or global addressing, we can say. And in the part of the local, the virtual circuit identifier, that this identifier is used to transfer the data in between the same system. The virtual circuit identifier will be doing this. Unlike it is of some small number that has for the switching part. So this VCI or this virtual circuit identifier is actually designed between the two switches. So when the two switches are actually sending the data with each other, in that particular scenario, the VCI was used. And when it is actually changing from one system, one internet network to another networking system, it will be addressed by the global addressing. It will be addressed by the global addressing. So two concepts, one is global addressing and second one is the local or VCI, virtual circuit identifier. Now this part again have some three phases, the same like the circuit switch, setup, data transfer, shutdown, the tear down. This three concept was there. And what is the part of the setup, data transfer, and tear down? We all know. We have already studied this particular scenario in the part of this circuit switching technique. So the part that is in the process of this setup request, the setup connection was sent, acknowledgement and request part will be there. Then the connection will be created between the source and the destination to transfer the particular data transmitted, right? And in the part of the switching part, where the process will be inside the switch, there will be the datagram transfer. The packets will be subdivided and then it will be transferred with the datagram. So this during this total setup of this VCI, it is having encountering some delays, as it is the concept of circuit and packet, the both. So the delay of there, as of the delay is already present in our packet switching datagram switching techniques, right? So the delay will be presented there, and the circuit switching will have a total dedicated path or dedicated connection, right? So what are the differences we can say with the help of this circuit datagram switch techniques or the virtual packet switching technique? So there are three parts we have discussed. First one is the circuit switching technique, circuit. Second one is known as datagram, and third one we can say known as the VCI. So these three parts, what are the scenarios, what are the differences we can say in between? That in the part of the circuit switching technique, it have a dedicated transmission line. It have a dedicated transmission path. Whereas in datagram packet switching, there is no dedicated path. In the same VCI, it is also no dedicated path will be there. In the case of circuit switching, the data transmission will be continuous, right? So if I write, if I draw this particular scenario, so if I draw a particular differential scenario between the circuit, datagram, and VCI, circuits have a dedicated path. Whereas in datagram, we can say there is no dedicated path. And same scenario for VCI, no dedicated path. Second one, for the circuit switching, we can say that is the continuous transmission of data is happening. Continuous transmission of data. Continuous transmission of data. And in the case of this, we can say the datagram, the transmission happening through the packet technique. Packets are there, right? Transmission is happening through the packets, and in VCI it is the concept of the combination of both. Combination of both, we can say continuous transmission starting from the source. Then in the part of the switching, the packets will be there to convert it. The message will be broke into the different packets, right? Then we can say the message are not stored in the case of switching techniques. Packets or the message are not stored. So we can say the packets or the message not stored. Message not stored here. And here in the case of this datagram, packet is stored for the forwardness process, and in the same of VCI, again we can write this packet is stored, right? Then we can say the delay, there will be less delay in the case of circuit switching. The signal delay or the delay will be less or very less with respect to others, right? So delay is very less. While we can write in the case of datagram, there is a delay. There is a delay, right? In the case of VCI also, we can write the same. There is a delay. So these are the basic difference between the circuit and the datagram packet switching techniques most usually. So in the one more difference, we can say that in the case of circuit switching, there is a fixed bandwidth allocated with the transmission at the time of transmission, while in the packet switching or datagram switching technique, there is no fixed type of uh, broadband or bandwidth. There is no fixed type of bandwidth. Dynamic use of bandwidth will be there, right? And in the case of packet switching technique, there is a header concept that will have stored the destination address with respect to the following port number at the routing table. So these are the basic differences we can find out with the help of this the part of this packet switching and the circuit switching technique, right? So now there are some questions and some problems comes into the scenario that can be come into your exams, just like some questions I'm telling with this from these modules. We can write that explain the PCM encoder with a neat complex diagram, with a neat particular diagram. What is sampling? What is quantization? What is the different techniques of analog and digital conversion, like we have studied the ASK amplitude shift king, FSK frequency shift king, PSK phase shift king. So these are the concepts we have already discussed. This explain QPSK. Then the part explain the multiplexing and the spreading. What is TDM? What is FDM? What is WDM? What is the networks? What is the circuit switch network? Switching techniques with respect to the TCP/IP protocols or layers, or explain the path of the packet switching and the datagram switching techniques with the diagrams with the help of routing tables. Explain the part of the VCN. So these are the concept or these are the questions that is coming or that may come into your exam, right? So these are the part or these techniques we have, by this we are actually finishing our module 2, that is the part of the switching techniques, the bandwidth utilization, analog transmissions, and the digital transmission. These are the part that is present in our module 2, right? So after this particular part we have discussed for today. In the next part, in the next class, we are going to start our next module, that is known or that is the part of this error detection and correction. So means that when we are actually trying to send some data from one part to another, maybe at the time when it's a dedicated path, there is no issue. But when we are using this type of packet switching or datagram switching techniques with the help of some wireless mode, there may be some error. There may be some flow control problem. So how we can actually control that? Because error in the data will not help us in any way. So we need to send the data that is very clear and the messages sent from the sender side to the receiver that can be very okay, so the receiver can understand. So If there is an error in between the transmission, what is the measure, what is the actions we can take, and how we can prevent it. So regarding this, we are going to have the discussion, we are going to have a talk from our next classes, that is error detection and correction, right? So in our next class, we are going to start the topic from here, error detection and the correction. So up to this particular part, we have talked and we have scenario, we have seen that module 2 totally regarding all the process of FDM, PDM, ASK, PSK, QPSK. So as this module was completed, I would like to give you some assignment, but not today because you have internals in some upcoming days. The days was changed, you have the notification. So from 18, you people have your internals. So no home assignment for this period. Or for this particular modules, we will be giving or we will having some home assignment after your exam will over, right? So for that, there will be no, for that, by that particular time there will be no assignment, home assignment for you people, right? Fine. So up to this particular part, we have talked, we have discussed for today's class, and this module 2 was completed. I hope the scenario, whatever we have discussed, was clear to you people. In case if you have any type of doubts, any type of queries, then we may can discuss. So if you have any problem, you people can note it down. So we can do a discussion on that in the second half while we have some Linux lab, right? So in the second half, we have a particular Linux lab. So in that particular Linux lab, if you have any doubts regarding this particular module too, so we can have a discussion at that time, right? So the Linux lab will be there from 3 p.m. The link will be shared by you all with after some time. From 3 p.m. there will be a class. There is sound coming. Don't unmute yourself. So from 3 p.m. we are going to talk. We are going to have the classes of Linux lab. Fine. So up to this, we are done for today. So thank you all for joining into the session, and I hope all of you have written your names in the chat box. In case if anyone have missed, they can write their names. And if case all of you have done, then there is no issue. So this is all for now. We are going to meet again in the next class from 3 p.m. The link will be there. Okay. Thank you all for joining the session, and stay safe by that time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.